What's up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. And this is not the newest figure. It's been out for, I think, a couple years now. But we're reviewing the STC Commander, which is, I think STC stands for Supreme Tactical Commander. So I guess you would say that he's the Supreme Tactical Commander. I don't know. But I had a spontaneous transaction earlier this year, and I ended up selling my MP10 and a few other figures, and had some extra spending cash, so I hopped on over to Agabus and just to see what they had, and he had this guy up for sale. It was his last one, so but I was like, I've been looking at this for a while. I think I should get it. So I did, and it's pretty awesome. So a little bit of background on this figure. Years ago, there was an artist named Don Figuera who used to work for IDW, and he's also done some work with Transformers. And he did a lot of projects, on his own, on the side. Actually, that's, I think, how he got hired at both of those places, is they saw his personal projects. And he at one point had designed had done a design for the G.I. Joe Rolling Thunder that turned into Optimus Prime for kind of a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover thingamajig. And it looked really cool, though he never showed it in this mode that you're seeing here, which is with all of its armor on, the extra armor on. It was just the basic form that he showed. He said that it had a combined mode like this, an armored mode like this, but he was saving that for a rainy day, and the rainy day never happened. And I guess the people over at TFC decided they were done waiting and just did it themselves. And gosh, this figure just looks great. It is big and chunky and super imposing for scale. Here he is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime. This is your standard Masterpiece Prime size, so he is definitely a bit sizable. But really good looking figure. Paint apps on him are fantastic. Of course, he's got, yellow paint apps, silver paint apps. Some of this dark gunmetal here. Yellow on the blue and yellow on the dark gray. Both of those are difficult materials to put a light color on top of. But on top of that, it's got tampo printing all over the place. Here. Just tampo printing all over. Just a really good looking figure. And it's heavy, like really heavy. There is an absurd amount of die cast in this figure. First of all, like, this is die cast, that's die cast, that's die cast, that's die cast. He's got die cast on all 12 of his wheels. Die cast for all of his guns. Like these guns here on his legs are all die cast on these things, die cast on these things, die cast here, die cast on these little guns in his toes. Just die cast all over the place. Makes him really heavy. I would probably weigh him, except that my scale's in the other room and I'm lazy. So, on to accessories. In terms of accessories, he comes with a little roller. A little super cute roller. He's got, wheels. Some tampo printing on him as well. He's got a little opening cockpit here. So one of the things about this, let me grab Let me grab a couple extra figures real quick. So this figure is designed to, ooh, that's different. It's designed to work with the new Microman line. And so we'll take my only existing Microman figure here. And you can, you know, cram him into the cockpit here. He doesn't really fit, but it's nice to know that they made the effort. Well, if you cram him in there just right, you can close it, and there he is inside the cockpit there. It's also designed to work with these little Generations Headmaster guys, and that's mostly all in the vehicle mode, so I'll show you that separately. This is a great little accessory. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do much. You can take his blaster and plug it in here and plug this little tube in. Actually, I'll plug the tube in first. Plug the tube into there. Come on, why don't you want to go in? Why don't you want to go in? I had this at one point. There we go. Plugs into there and plugs into there. And now Roller can roll around, but I will point out that it makes him basically front heavy. So yeah. But yeah, a little tiny roller with a huge effing gun. That's always exciting. As for this gun, though, its main purpose is going to be just to be held in the hand. You've got tabs here on either side of the handle. Just plug it into the hand here. The old Masterpiece style tab and slot system. Curl the fingers around. And he has a big beefy looking gun to go with the big beefy looking figure, which really helps to add to his, you know, imposing look. But gosh, this figure's great. Anyhow, let's get into his posability for a second here. So let's take this off. So his head is on a ball joint, and it will side to side rotate up and down. I do wish that they had painted the eyes, because they did this like light piping crap, and it's like, you know, I thought light piping was really cool back in the 90s, but it honestly really doesn't look that great, to be honest. Like, it was cool when it was novel and new, but nowadays he will look down that far, he will look up that far, maybe a little farther if you can. Nope, it won't weasel up anymore. But still, I mean, that's an impressive amount of up and down, to be honest. He's got, you know, this extra little joint here for some more posability and some giggity. His shoulders will go all the way around. They're going to knock off his backpack, so I'm just going to take that off for the time being. Go all the way around. You've got a ratchet here at the shoulder, plus you have a softer joint up here. These come out so that to facilitate that. Technically, this joint here, the softer joint, is a transformation joint, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. I like to throw a little bit to kind of like hunch up his shoulders a bit, make him look imposing. He's got bicep swivel here, double jointed elbow. His wrists are on a swivel here. And he's got individually posable fingers, with a ball joint to the base of each finger, 2 joints on each finger. The thumb has got a ball joint, a hinge, and a hinge. So good posability on the hands, basically as expressive as you want them to be. These, this little thing here on the back of the hand doesn't move with the hand, but it moves freely enough that it's not going to get in the way. He's got a waist joint that'll go all the way around. He's got these skirt armors that we can pull out of the way so that we can have his leg go that far forward, that far back, and it goes out for, honestly, full Van Damme. I would say even maybe 110% of the Van Damme. He's got a little bit of a thigh rotation right here. Double joint at the knee for a full bend. His foot has got just as much ankle tilt as you want, plus the toe and the heel wiggle separately, so you can pose them up just however you need them to. On his backpack, which I took off but will now show you in more detail, has got, let's straighten him up a little bit. He is not back heavy, by the way. I want to point that out. Raise up my stupid little tripod here a little bit. So you've got each of these is on a series of joints. There's a joint here and a joint here, and then there's actually a rotation here. But you can bring these around basically. They won't go straight down over the shoulder. Well, I mean, they will if you have his shoulders completely straight, like this. But I don't know that that's really that great of a look for him. I like to have them angled up like that, so he's got like his ICBMs ready to go. These little things here will kind of move around too. And yes, this backpack does kind of fall off. It's not on here super securely, but it's not awful either. I've seen worse. By the way, more die cast back here. Actually, while I've got his backpack off, I'm going to take off the rest of his armor here. So his backpack just comes off. It's on a couple little tabs. You can move this back up in place. This is just on the slot. Just pull that off. For these hands here, you want to open up this panel right here, and then this will just come right off. And you can take and open this, fold out these hands, close that, and there you have his unarmored arms. Let's do the same for the other side real quick. Pull that out. Pull out. Come out, damn you. There we go. The other one came right out. I don't know why this one was fighting me. By the way, before you get all excited about this, this is actually literally the exact same hand and sculpt as this one here. It's the same size, same shape, same posability, same everything. For the legs, you just want to take and grab it and just kind of yank on it. If you want, you can take your thumb and push here, and it will unclip and just come right off. There's his toe and his heel. And there he is in his unarmored mode. And in this mode, I mean, he honestly really doesn't look... I mean, I guess, yeah, he's not quite as imposing as he was before, but he's still a fairly chunky looking figure. He is quite a bit smaller. You'll see now he's basically the regular size of a Masterpiece style Optimus. He retains basically all of the same posability. You know, his shoulders are exactly the same joints and exactly the same, you know, obstructions or lack thereof. He doesn't get any additional bend out of his elbow when he loses that armor. He doesn't get any additional bend out of his knees when he loses that armor. He does have completely new toes, but they've got a lot of the same posability. He gets a little bit more wiggle, but honestly just a tiny bit. Toes still work. Heel is on a ball joint. Lots of tilt. When you tilt, by the way, you can pose his foot forward like that, but when it's flat, you can't. That's odd. But yeah. Oh, one last piece of armor I forgot to divest him of is Dick Plate. The armored nutsack. But again, a really good looking figure, and those hands are exactly the same, so they'll fit the same gun, and just looks really, really great. Now the armor, I talk about figures having half-assed base modes. The armor has got possibly the most half-assed base mode I've ever seen. But it's a thing, so I'll show you. What you do is you take this here, fold out that little piece there, bring this around like that, and then bring, I'll just bring it up right here. No, yeah, no, yeah. I need something a little more pokey than that. Oh. I've got a crappy Voltron sword. Bring that up. Actually, I didn't need to bring that one out yet at all. So you kind of position these around and do the same for this other side. Bring that up, position this around that. These armors will actually plug into each other. You can pull out these guns here. I really almost can't believe I'm wasting my time on this. And that will go there like that. Yeah, these don't want to hold up with the weight of those guns at all. So maybe we'll just go like this. Yeah, guns. And then you can take this part here, fold out this ramp. Let's fold this hand up. Fold that in about that much. And then you can take this ramp and plug it in right here. And we'll just kind of precariously balance that one over there and fold up this one here. out this ramp. And precariously balance that one over there. And then this, I honestly don't remember where that's supposed to go. Something like that, maybe. It really isn't a base mode per se. It's just, you know, kind of throw all of his armor together and be like, dude, guys, check out how cool this base is. But anyhow, let's get that. Actually, instead of getting that out of the way, I'm going to combine it up into an actual, like his quote-unquote trailer mode. So we'll take these, clip those together, fold these up just like that. Take these, clip those together. And then we want to basically we're plugging these pegs into these holes right here. And then these are going to stick together, but you really don't put them on first at this point anyhow. So we'll just kind of plug them in here and plug them in here. And I'm just going to plug them together just for the sake of why not. We'll stick that off to the side. Oh, and this piece here goes like that. So to transform up the STC Commander, he's got one part of him that's super annoying and the rest of him is actually pretty easy. So first thing I'm going to do is pull this out. I moved to a plastic spudger because honestly it kind of made me nervous to use that metal thing on figures, but you know, the stupid little plastic spudger doesn't have nearly as much grip and poking power as the metal one did, so I don't know, I may move back. There we go. So the idea here is there's a tab that basically holds the spine together and you want to pull that tab out. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, he's got a freaking ab crunch, which works when he's armored and when he's not. And it's freaking deep, by the way. It's not impeded by the armor at all, so. Now, I've seen people do this step by pulling open his front grille here, but I found that just to be nigh unto impossible. Like, he's got little tabs here where you're hypothetically able to grip that, but I've never been able to do that. Maybe I can wedge this into that gap there. I don't know. But this tab on the back is difficult too. This is honestly the only hard part of this whole transformation, so just bear with me for a moment. And I've tried going online and looking at other reviewers to see, oh hey, how do they handle that? And I'll be damned if they don't just all go from vehicle to robot and don't even, like, of course this is no problem whatsoever to transform into robot mode because you just take and plug it in, there it goes. That's absurd. One moment. Metal spudger it is. And there it goes. It was that easy. So, with that raised up, you can pull out this peg back here that I was trying to do. I don't know why this peg doesn't want to just go first. That would be nice if it did. Take his head, spin it around, and fold it into this spot here. You want to raise up, focus, damn you. You want to raise up this panel here a little bit. And all of this is going to just kind of open up. And you'll kind of stick it into this position like so. You want to take these panels here, fold them in. They'll kind of like raise up and just go in, tuck in a little bit. Then you can pull these panels out. You want to rotate his waist around and then slide these wheels into position. They're in here and they're kind of on this like little hinge part. So why is that not going? I don't know why this is giving me trouble. That one works great. That one, there we go. I just had to complain about it for a second, and then it works fine. So, bring this all up. This is going to fold into that space there. This tab, this panel here untabs from this, and that'll just fold back in there. That'll allow you to wiggle this up into position, which will allow you to connect this windshield up with this red tab here. The fists, you want to rotate them around like this. Open up the back of this and then fold them in. Close that. You got to put the thumb away first. If you have the thumb out, it won't work. Rotate that, open, fold it away, close. And then this will go like this with this peg facing out the same size as this window and then just collapse up. Oh, there's pegs on both sides of that, aren't they? In that case, what I mean to say is this panel where that folds out will become the roof of the vehicle. Then you'll just take these and fold them up. and they will just tab into place right here. These tabs will go into these slots right here, and that'll help keep that together. And then his legs, you want to open up this panel here on the back. This will allow you to combine or worse that down, close that, fold this up, fold the toe in. Then you've got a peg and a slot and a peg and a slot. Tab these together. And there you have him in his truck mode. And it's decent looking. But what you really want to do is put him in this full armored truck mode. And the way to do that is you got to take his legs here. This is exactly the same way that you'll fit them on in robot mode. So, in fact, you don't even need to take these off if you're transforming straight from his full armored truck mode to the full armored robot mode. You don't even need to take these off, but they just slide on. You want to make sure that this little section here is fitting into that, and then it'll just go click, and there it is, and it stays really well. You'll tab these back together, and then you want to take these knees, bring them up, and fold them in like that. For this section here, we're going to fold his hips down. Oh, those came off, by the way. Oh, another thing. A lot of these things, they're just on by pegs. Like, this isn't the required space to put these, but it is kind of a recommended space to put them. You know, this is on a peg. And, like, these missile things are on pegs. Blech. I'm just wrecking everything showing you. So they're just on the standard 5mm pegs, and you can move them however you want. This is how I like it. So this is how I'm keeping it. So what you want to do is you want to fold his legs back out, just like how they are in robot mode. And then you can take this and just kind of slide it into place. These tabs are going to fit into those slots right there. And then these tabs are actually going to stick underneath these knees. And so for those knees especially, because that is kind of a tight fit, you want to bend the knees by a click or two. Let's raise up these guns too. So we'll put that into place. There's tabs on the underside of this that go into slots there. And then you want to straighten out the knees. We'll tab these together fully, even though it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Straighten out the legs to tab those knees into those places. They will kind of click in and help to hold it fairly securely. There we go. And there he is in his full truck mode, and he is imposing in his truck mode as well. I've seen people, you can take these and fold them all the way in, but I don't really like to do that, especially since, okay, there's nowhere to put this gun in this mode, which is a little bit of a bummer. There's not even really a place to put this, though. I've seen if you take this, you can kind of tuck it in there. It doesn't really want to fit straight in, but if you turn it on its side, it'll fit in just fine. And I find that to be storage, but kind of a half-ass storage. But ultimately, this is meant to be, you know, you can play with it with these little dudes here. And so, like, you can put your missiles up. The missiles, by the way, do come out. They're just like completely hollow, and they come out with this frame. So it's not even like you can get like a good, like pretend like the missile's been launched or whatnot. You can just either have them be there or be completely gone. Pull those out. Now you've got little places where you can put guys. You can put a guy here. Or you can stick them like in here, like they're reading something off of a console or something. You can put these dudes hanging out in those seats. I've seen people have guys hanging out back here on these guns. You can flip out these tow guns. And there's enough space in the back here for one of these guys, I believe. Certainly enough for one of these guys. He also has these little windows open up, but like there's nothing that you can do with that space. It's too small for putting anything in there. But it's an action feature. Oh yeah, you can have a guy sitting up in here. Just all sorts of things that you can do. So it's not a perfect scale with either of these options. I think it works slightly better with these little Micromaster guys. Though with all the die cast on them, you think they would have been able to use something, you know, ferromagnetic so that his little magnet feet could stick to it. But no. But anyhow, that's this guy in his vehicle mode. It's a really great vehicle mode. I like this figure a lot. They came out with this version here, which is the one that I wanted anyhow. They also came out with a green camouflage one that looks pretty cool. It's more in line with, if you're a G.I. Joe fan, it references that Rolling Thunder more than this one does, because this one, of course, looks the part, but it's not the right color. Whereas the green one is the right color. They also have recently announced, as of, 2020, where I'm at right now, they have recently announced a, I forget what they call it, like a nuclear launch version or whatever, where it takes this section and replaces it with like one big missile. And that missile has got, splits into different options and features and things. And so that's cool looking. And it's a completely different green camo pattern than the regular green repaint of this one. So I think the red and blue one is the hardest one to find. The green one I think is a little easier to find. I haven't really checked real deeply. All I know is that when I was looking for this at first, I was mostly finding the green one, but that was, gosh, almost a couple years now by now. So that's a heavy figure. I love it. Anyhow, that's my review for this figure. If you can find one, I recommend it wholeheartedly. Anybody who likes Optimus Prime or Rolling Thunders. 2 thumbs up from the Zachamus. And that's it for me. Thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.